Hello, hello, hello. Shalom. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. All right. Here's your brother again with some more thought-provoking dialogue, some more conversation for you. Give you something else to think about. You watched the last video talking about Russia, Putin, and information that they're not allowing Americans to hear. So I gave you a bunch of information over there in different places you can go and hear other news people talk about that situation that are not, uh, lying and spinning and spitting propaganda. So if you listen to that last video, you now can keep up on another level. Today the conversation is centered around relationship. And let's go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's do that now before we get into it, because I know more than likely you're going to be listening and focus on what I'm saying and enjoying the information and thinking as I speak to you. So go ahead and subscribe now and hit the like button and the bell so that you can get the notification when I put the video up. Okay. Listen, I just want to simply talk about relationship, the brothers and sisters relationship in America and what have you, different countries, even in Africa. I'm seeing a trend building in Africa also, where they have become westernized. The young people, the elder people, they still holding on to the tradition because their age and set in your ways. But these young, very influential people that you can influence them easy because they're young. I notice how they are, dropping out of the traditional African culture and they're dressing more Western because, the West, they have that type of influence. They make it look very, very appealing. They hype it up and make it look sparkling. I told you about that time when I was in Ghana down there in the bush, and the brother brought the TV and set it in the tree, and everybody came out to watch the movie, the show, the picture show Dallas. And so these other nations have been convinced that America is heaven on earth. Oh, today I'm actually situated in the factory of the company I'm working with, Sami Najami, owned by some northern Arabs, more like Druze. They got a lot of Druze here. They don't. The Druids people. They don't consider themselves Arab and Palestinian and whatnot, but they do speak Arabic and English. Anyway, I'm situated in the factory. They told me to come over here, and I'll be working with these guys. Currently, I'm not doing anything now, but just sitting here being patient, and that's something that young operators have big problem with. Doing this, what I'm doing, sitting here. I haven't even started the crane today. I haven't even fired it up. Um, you see, the temperature is nice. I got the door open. Partly cloudy up there, a few clouds. The weather's changing because, during the summer months, August, it'll already be 100 degrees. But it's nice right now. What I'm seeing with our young brothers and sisters is in America, so for a relationship, I'm seeing the results of a very well executed psychological plan of destruction, destroying the psyche behind, male-female relationship, black man, black woman. Specifically, specifically because, you know, music has a powerful influence on our people. I'm gonna make this point. Me being a professional DJ for years, I've never heard other nationality of people make music that is speaking violence on their own people. Like, I don't hear the Chinese rappers talking about kill chink, chink chink and all this here. You don't hear Jewish rappers, if they say, making rap music Jewish. It's even a brother over here that he's a black guy. He's got real popular amongst the Orthodox Jews. He wear the black and the white. He all up in there with him. And he does rap, but he does it in Hebrew. And he's not degrading those people. And you don't hear Russians and other nationalities rap and talk bad about their people, like calling their people hoes and bitches and niggas and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just amongst our people in America, do they do that? The rap music, nigga, 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 whole bitch, Wow. And then we have this incredible, terrible relationship situation going on. You got sisters single, brothers single, and everybody screaming and hollering at each other. And nobody getting together. For one reason, no communication. Can't talk to each other. Sisters ain't trying to hear nothing, especially the young ones. It's like they got this real, souped up type of personality that you can't tell them nothing. Brothers, they don't have any real solid male role model to teach them how to be men. Like, you remember that time I told you that my father would take me to the barbershop every Saturday, and when you get there, the place is packed full of brothers and young sons. And the older brother was talking about what a pleasure is to be married. They would make being married such a desire that, you remember I told you once before, I told my mother at 10 years old, I said, Mama, I want to get married. She said, boy, because going in that barbershop every Saturday, listening to those brothers beautify. I mean, they made being a man, working, bringing the money home, sitting down with your wife, going over whatever finances the family need first. And then if you got $50 left out of that you good. But your family, your wife, your children, you know what I'm saying? They good. Bills paid, food in the house, clothes, shoes. Your wife is happy because she got a man that's taking care of her and them children with no problem. And so now she can be a housewife. She can take care of the house because she don't have the stress of trying to work and come up with the mortgage payment, the rent payment, and pay the light bill, the water bill, the gas bill, buy food, get the children to school, buy some shoes. All that ain't on her like it is today with these boss bitches, American, modern, they call themselves boss bitches, and what else they call themselves? But all that stuff they be saying that, glorify being single. And so they now, have been put in a position where our sisters got to do all that by themselves. Because in their mind, it's like, what a nigga can do for me. Tooted and booted. Show up, give me the D, and bounce. And this is like the norm, man. Look, when I went out to Florida and I was working, I met a lot of sisters. Because, when they listened to me talk, I had an international conversation, I had a local conversation, I had a conversation about food, and they could hear that the brother knew what he was talking about. So that was interesting. To hear a black man talk about international, local, with intelligence, and speaking with power and authority, that the man know what he's talking about. So I met a lot of sisters. But one sister in particular, I never forget, I took her to shopping to get some food, and just before she got in the car, we was in a conversation riding up to the market, and she told me, she said, dude, don't no woman want no dude like you. I'm like, what? Why not? What's wrong with me? She said, dude, you work every day. I'm like, huh? She said, man, these bitches out here don't want no nigga get up, leave the house every day. They want to keep them niggas in the house, right? And call them throughout the day, make sure they in the house, so when they get home, they be in the house. I'm like, what? She said, you go to work every day. She said, the bitch don't know if you at work or not, or pretending. I'm like, sister, hold on. Whoa, slow down. What are you saying to me? First of all, I ain't comfortable with the bitch and nigga thing. First of all, that's cause I don't want to deal with no bitch. That's the first thing. If she got to be a bitch, I don't want it. Second, I ain't really feeling being called the nigga and all this kind of thing. It makes me feel bad. She said, whatever. You go to work every day. She said, these women want dudes that they can take care of and control. Really? Now, see, I've been in Israel for 25 years. So I left America young and had been given all these skills from the elder brothers. Work every day. Okay, the 4 things that they taught brothers about working, if you're going to work a job. It was 4 principles that the brothers told us. They said, number 1, be at work every day. Number 2, be on time. Number 3, work hard, right? And number 4, have a cordial spirit that everybody can enjoy working with you. And they say if you master them 4 points, you ain't never got to worry about money and eating. Because you always going to be able to find work. People going to know you for them attributes. And so here it is today, the exact same thing that I'm applying. Even at 61, all of these years, I have never had to go looking for work. Like, okay, I got to fill out an application. I got to send resumes. I've been in this land over 40 years. And I've only sent out 1 resume. Because the manager asked me to send the resume. And when I got there for the interview, he said, because of what Rakham had told me about you, I knew I wanted you to work with us. I just wanted you to send the resume so I could see it. And I just wanted to meet you. But based on what he told me about you, I know I wanted to hire you. Okay, so the resume wasn't why I got that job. How I got the job is that incredible reputation of being at work every day, being on time, work hard, have a cordial spirit that everybody can enjoy working with you, and you go home. That's what it was based on. You remember I told you the work that I was doing before I started working in this crane, I was driving that fuel truck. The way I got that job is I had worked in another job with an Israeli friend of mine 7 years. Listen to this. I hadn't seen that guy in 7 years. But one day, a friend of mine, Shai, we was riding in the car together, and he happened to pick the phone up because when the phone rang, it was a friend of his guy named Yogav. Right? Now, Yogav and I had worked with Ivy Cranes 7 years earlier. Right? 7 years prior to that phone call. Okay? So, Yogav and we had worked together at a company 7 years prior to this phone call. Me riding in the car with Shai. All right. The phone rang. Shy answered it. It's Yo Gabe. So Shy riding along, talking to Yo Gabe on the phone, and I'm sitting there next to Shy because Shy is the son of Yossi, who owned the crane company that I worked 4.5 years building the new port in Ashdod. All right. And Shy deal with me like I'm his uncle, family. I mean, these people, we got real close. His father called me brother. His father brought me inside of his clique, and he told us one day in the office, he said, Richard is now in my clique. He said, other people want to be in, but no, just Richard. So that means I was brought in the family. So Shy is looking at me like his big uncle, big brother, dope, whatever. And so when the phone rang, it was Yo Gabe. Yo Gabe called Shy to talk about whatever. And as he was on the phone, Shy mentioned to him, now I'm rolling with Richard, we just got off the job, And so Shy, he said, Richard. He said, yeah, K, American. And so Yo Gabe, he hollered so loud, I could hear him on the phone. And Yo Gabe, so Shy, he just had me the phone. I said, hello? And Yo Gabe screamed out, Richard, my man. I'm like, whoa, Yo Gabe. I'm pretending like I know him. Who the hell is Yo Gabe? I don't remember no Yo Gabe. And he said, what's happening, my friend? My name Habibi. All this stuff. And so, come to find out, Yo Gabe was working with Solel Boneh. Solel Boneh in Israel is one of the largest construction corporation in this country, and they building like all over the world. They even built that big thing out in America, I think it was Texas, some big interchange. But anyway, they hella large. Yo Gabe was working with them. All right. Yo Gabe knew that they was looking for another driver for that fuel truck. And he had already told Shy prior to that conversation that if Shy know a friend, all right, now dig this. He said a friend of someone special, you need to tell him about this job driving that fuel truck because it's sweet. But you got to hear what he said, a friend, someone special. And so Shy knew I had the license and he knew I was out of work because we finished building the port. So now, what's next? So Shy looked at me and he said, hey, you wanna work driving a truck? I'm like, I really ain't got no choice. I don't have no work. So he told Yo Gabe, Richard interested in the job. So Yo Gabe get back on the phone. He say, man, you got these licenses? Yeah. He want to work? Yeah. He said, okay, I'm gonna call you back. So he called me back in about 15 minutes, gave me the girl's number. I called her and he said, talk with her. I talked with her. He called her back and told her to hire me. This is my guy, da da da. So I goes up to the main office at the airport, right next to Ben Gurion Airport. Sit down with the girl, Gilly, and she tell me da 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 all this about the job. She said, if you want the job, it's yours. I said, okay, no problem. The salary was nice, salary was nice. It was decent, and that's how I got that work. See, but here's the point I want you to remember. I had not seen Yo Gabe for 7 years, right? But he remembered me. Like soon as Shy said he's riding with Richard, he went to asking this Richard, that would, yeah. And when Shy said, yeah, the American, you see, they don't be using nigger and coochie bum bum. See, they don't do it like that with me. They say the American. And Yo Gabe knew right off the rip it was me. But remember, I hadn't seen Yo Gabe in 7 years. The last time we saw each other, we was working together for Avi Cranes. 7 years prior. But because of that, what those elder brothers told me in Atlanta, Georgia, in that barbershop way back in the 60s about being a solid man still apply today, that Israeli who hadn't worked with me in 7 years said, you can get this job. Why? Because you remember, I come to work every day. I be on time. I work hard and have a cordial spirit that everybody enjoy working with me. Give Richard the job. And he hadn't seen Richard in 7 years. He don't know if what's going on. But based upon that reputation of those 4 principles, that's how I got that job paying all that money. You understand? And so these are the things that the brothers were sharing with young brothers in a manner that it was so daggone inspiring. Hell, I wanted to get married at 10 years old. Because, man, them brothers was like, okay, I'll give you an example. Them brothers be like, woo, man, you know what? We went to Six Flags over Georgia this week. My children had a ball. Man, they ran all around that park. He said, bro, me and my wife, whoo, whoo, whoo. You know how the brothers, they can be real dramatic. They like, whoo, whoo. We in the barbershop. Remember, we sitting in a barbershop Saturday morning after the cartoons in Atlanta, Georgia. Back in, you know, I was born in about 70, something like that. 71, 2, 3, whatever. And so the brothers is talking, and they talking about this here thing, the whole marriage and what. And so they was talking about where they had taken a family over the weekend. And so one brother, he was talking about having, you know, he took his family to Six Flags over Georgia. And he was like, whoo, man, my children ran me around that park. He said, man, them baby boy, I'm telling you, I don't know where they get that energy from. They just never stop, never stop. Ride after ride after ride after ride. Man, I'm getting out of breath just talking about it. And then the brothers, they laugh and joke. And so then they talk about eating a hot dog, eating the French fries. Now that's something children, you see, they didn't talk about eating the steak and lobster. Now, I don't know if that was at Six Flags, but they talk about eating a hot dog. They talk about eating the fries, eating the ice cream and the cotton candy. He said, all we did was just eat all day long. So now that's making like, what? He said, my children, man, they just ate and then ate and ride. Just one ride behind the other, the roller coaster, the Ferris wheel, the this, the that, and run. And so they laughed it up. And they talked so fun about taking the family to Six Flags over Georgia. And he said, yeah, man, it cost me $70 to get everybody in there. He said, it really wasn't no big deal. He said, but you know, bro, that was a well-spent $70 because to see the happiness on my baby's face. And my wife was happy. He said, bro, he said, I was glad I spent that $70. So you see how them brothers, they was putting these points on you and they would embellish the things that was significant to make you a superhero in the family. The $70 was well spent because of the smiles on my children's face and the happiness I saw in my wife. That was a well spent $70. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I grew up hearing every Saturday morning back in those days when everybody hairstyle was like Dr. Martin Luther King. And I have to remind you, Dr. Martin Luther King carried a low, very, very low, short, like, you know, hairstyle. And Dr. King didn't need to go to the barbershop every single Saturday because your hair don't grow that fast. So why are we in the barbershop every Saturday after cartoon? To listen to those brothers, you know, talk about things that made us good men even to this day. Right? The principles that make you a solid man. I told y'all about the sister that I met in Texas that you remember like in 2000, I think in 2008, somewhere around in there, right? When they had chopped off a lot of people working out from 40 to 20. And this sister had 3 beautiful daughters by herself, renting a house. All the bill was behind. The rent, the light, the water, the gas, the phone. She could just make enough money to keep a little food in the house. And she didn't know the house was owned by a brother. And I have to admit, he was a kind-hearted dude. And he was trying to be, you know, understanding her situation. But at the same time, he owned the house. He got property tax that he's responsible for in the rent. So you know how to deal. But anyway, me and her, we meet. Beautiful sister, precious spirit, man. Big old pretty eyes, a smile that'll warm your heart, man. I mean, she was just, whew, incredible. So anyway, me and her, we get to rolling. The relationship is going, yada, yada, yada. Things is happening. The daughters meet me, you know, and they just fell in love with Big Papa. You know, everybody like a big man, you know. And so I'm nice and friendly and bubbly because I got children. So I know the mindset of children, right? And so I'm not saying nothing to the baby girls, but just like show up. They ask questions, I answer. They laugh, I laugh. You know, just a warm type process of endearment. So when the relationship get to a certain point, I said, baby, bring me all the bills. And see, this is what my young sisters don't understand today. Build a relationship first. The brother automatically gonna kick in and do what he's supposed to do, but you can't start demanding stuff right off the rip. And you ain't got no, you ain't got no connection with the brother. And it ain't got to always based on sex. You give him a little coochie, now you figure he's supposed to do all that. No. A prostitute do the same thing. She don't get that. Prostitute giving some coochie, $50, it's over with. So what you doing, prostituting yourself? No. When you build a relationship, and you be patient and you do what you're supposed to do as a woman, that brother automatically gonna kick in. So I told the sister, I said, baby, bring me all the bills. And she looked, she stopped. She said, you sure? I'm like, yeah. Because the brother said, if you gonna be the man, be the damn man. Handle the shit. Don't go up here no punk. Be the man. You talking about you a man? We knew you was a man before you knew you was a man, because when you came out, we looked down there and said, it's a male. So damn it, if you talking about I'm a man, be the damn man. So I tell her, we get in a relationship, we doing real good. Like we go out to eat dinner and she like to hug up on me, in publicly. She want everybody to see this a man. So I get to a point spiritually in the relationship, I tell her, bring me the bills. And so I go and sit down at the dining room table. When I sit down, she looked, she said, baby, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. She brought me all the bills, and every single bill was a different color, green, pink, red. And every bill had final notice, cutoff due date, all this here. And I looked at them, I ain't flinch, because I got to be the man. And she got to see it. Now she watching me, she eyeballing me to see it like, what the hell? No. Because I'm the man. I asked for them bills. Now I can't nut up because they all past due. I knew the sister was in a tight spot because she told me her work hours done got cut from 40 to 20. And she was a phlebotomist. And it's her and the 3 girls. And I'm just, look, I ain't the smartest brother in the world, but I damn sure ain't that dumb to know that your work hours get cut from 40 to 20. Your money get cut in half and you on your own trying to make it. Need a little help. So Big Papa shows up. Me and her get to rolling, but see, she still don't know what kind of man she with. So she brought me them bills, past due, cutoff notice, final notice, past due, all this. So I sit down with my credit card and one by one called them, paid it, got the, once you pay it on the credit card, you get the, you get the report, the numbers, the transaction number is paid. So I wrote all that down, paid in full. I took my time and paid every one of them bills, paid in full. And this story always touched me because I remember she sat down next to me on my right side and just sat there and watched me go through all these bills and pay them one by one. Then she laid her head on my right shoulder, and I had a short sleeve shirt on. And she just laid her head there. Then she held my arm with both of her hands. She was holding on to me. And I felt something wet on my arm. And I looked and I rubbed my arm. It was wet. And she was crying. And I looked at her and I said, baby, why are you crying? She said, because of you. I said, what did I do? She said, you came when I needed you because I asked God, send me an angel, send me some help. And here you are. Brother said, if you're going to be the man, be the damn man. Don't be up here shucking and jiving. Be the man. And so I did that for the sister. They didn't have cable. I bought the cable, you know. And you know what happened after that? You meet a good brother, hang on to it. So I heard the good old marriage word. She wanted to be my wife. Yep. Go to work every day, be on time, work hard, have a cordial work spirit, and you won't never have to worry about eating. The values and the principle that the brothers taught back in those days work every single time. But it's sad that today we don't have those barbershop that brothers go to. We don't have those elder brothers that you know we used to have back in those days. Back in those days, man, just about every brother you run into had his head together. You know, you didn't run into a lot of, you know, alcoholics and drug addicts and, you know, bums. Very, very few. Very, very few. You know, all the brothers was, you know, took big pride into that family thing. Being responsible. Dealing with the family at the highest level. You know, that was a badge of honor, man. You know. And another thing, before I go, your family is an extension representation of you. All right. So if I see your children all nappy headed, the hair ain't done, and all kind of crazy stuff going on with your children, I'm gonna look at you, cause them babies, they got to get it from us. You see, them babies, you know, we have to give it to them. We have to keep them children up. Shoes, good shoes on their feet, nice, decent clothes on their back, hair done and fixed, and food. They have to get it from, they can't get it on themselves. The babies, they can't get it themselves. We have to do that. And as men, as head of the house, the fundamental principle is that you, brother, provide the sustenance to your family, and it will make you so happy to see that wife and those babies doing well at your hand. As a man, that's a great feeling. That's why when you take a real man and cage him up, it damn near breaks him. Cause a real man wants to do these things for his wife and children. You have to be like a whole nother species that they done created, that you don't give a damn and don't want to do that for the sister. Even if it's just you and your girl, damn everybody else. You and your girl in the house are happy, and you have to get to a point where you and your girl, you all the one to make decision on what to happen in this relationship. Not Cheryl and Becky and Tamika and Tricia and Valerie and Sam and Mac and Bob and Bill. It has to be you and your woman and what you two want. That's what it's going to be. But when you're influenced by every Tom, Dick, and Harry and knucklehead and jackass and nitwit and dummy, you ain't going to have no relationship. Because them clowns ain't going to do nothing but destroy what you got. If you can get with somebody, y'all got to talk amongst yourselves about what it is you want, you and her. And that's it. That's it. When you two go in that bedroom together, it ain't you two and me. It's you two, and the whole world is outside. So y'all got to get together and plan what you need to do, how you want to do it, and what's good that you feel, not me, not them. And this includes your mother and father, sister, brother, cousin, aunt, grandmother. When you get together, it's about y'all. Now you can take advice, but at the end of the day, the decision that you all make, it has to be you two decision and you two decision only. Because why? When it go real good, you all gonna bask in the glory that you made a good decision. On the other hand, if it go real bad, you don't want to be in no position where you say, damn it, I know I shouldn't have did what they said to do. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say for that. I gave you some real powerful keys to work with. You know, I'm not even getting all into the who, what, when, where, and there and all that drama. Good 30 minutes, 33 minutes, whatever. And you take from this that I just shared with you, and you think about it and you work on it. Okay, go on out there and meet somebody. Where you meet them at church. I mean, I met my girl online. That works too. You know, look at me. You see, I'm out here at this factory. Ain't nothing but dudes out here. And then when I leave this factory, I'm going to get in the car and go home. How many chances do I come across of being with a woman? Most of them girls in the office, they married. You know, they Arab, whatever. They married. And I only had to go in the office. So yeah, I met my girl online. And see, online is no different than in the streets. The same people walking around you on the street and on the job, they out there on them dating sites too. Same people. It's just that the dating site is more concentrated, right? And so I call myself a dating site master. Why? It's the way you put your pictures up, what type of pictures up, the image that you want to project. It's the words that you want to say about yourself. You understand? And so your image, pictures, and your words, what you say about yourself is going to attract that particular woman. If you go out there with your shirt off and all twisted up and looking and licking and whatever, then you're going to attract the kind of woman all she's looking for is just some D. She ain't looking for nothing serious. She just wants you to come, you know, booted and tooted. Tooted and booted, right? Get your little D. But then if you put decent pictures out there, you ain't trying to contort yourself in some figure, you know, you ain't looking all like you be looking, trying to attract some, cause all you looking for is the coochie, right? You put yourself out there in a certain kind of way, decent, respectable, if you know what that means, and then you have the words that you describe yourself, and you ain't lying, but you got no multi-billion-dollar building and you diamond and aircrafts and all that kind of stuff you don't have. You tell the truth, and see that way. Any sister that approach you, she gonna approach you based on what you just said. And you just said the truth. Look, I work an 8-hour day job, 40 hours a week. This is what I'm doing. You know, you ain't gotta put a bunch of personal stuff out there. They already see the picture. So the first thing they gonna look at is your picture, and if that's a face you don't mind looking at for the rest of your life, then you're gonna look and see what they talk about themselves, right? And based upon that talk, you make a decision whether or not you want to, you know, respond. And then you respond, you hear how the person speak on the phone, y'all talk a while on the phone, and then if you're in the same city, you decide to meet someplace, and you know, you go on and meet and sit down, and then you're at that meeting, y'all gonna feel each other energy, whether or not you want to have another meet or date or whatever. See, that's where you do that. See, the dating site put a whole bunch of people in one spot that you can look over everybody, look at the face and see, oh, this is a face I wouldn't mind looking at for the rest of my life. And then you go ahead and see what they're saying about themselves, and you got those that jump off. You ain't got no car, I ain't trying to be your taxi driver. If you living with your mama, I don't want to hear that. I ain't looking for no big baby. If you ain't got this much money, keep it moving. If you just doing likes all the time, you know, don't like me. I delete that. You know, you might not want to deal with that kind of person because they got something going on. But then you have a person, look, listen, I like to go to church every Sunday. Jesus is the center of my life, or God is the center of my life. You know, I like to exercise, keep healthy, and eat healthy. Like walks on the beach, a glass of wine, watch a movie. You know, that's real. You know, that's real. You know, whether going to church every Sunday, that may happen, may not. It depends. You know, going to church ain't no big deal. I go to church with you, you know. So those type things may be appealing to you, and you know, you can go on with that. And then you take it one step, go meet somewhere, Starbucks or Panera Bread or shit. If you're hungry, say you're gonna go to the Golden Corral. I mean, why you gonna spend a whole bunch of money on somebody you don't know? You know what I'm saying? And it'd be crazy, man. So anyway, look, that's it. That's enough for you. And think about what I'm saying. Your big brother, Nubian King from Israel. I enjoyed talking to you. And I say this because I love you. You know, our people, man, greatest people ever walked the face of the planet. And we got, you know, a bunch of heathen that don't like us, jealous. They done had 400 years to study us. And all they doing right now at this point is screwing around with our mind, our psyche. And you got to get your head together so you can, you know, don't let that happen to you. But I love you from the basement of my heart to the attic of my mind. Make sure you subscribe now. Don't forget that. That's important for us, me and you too. And make sure you hit the like, do the like, thumbs up, the like, and then that bell, okay? So you get notified. Make sure you subscribe. And then I love you. You know, I genuinely do. Because you're my family. Whether you know me directly or don't, whether we have met or never met, I still do love you because you're family. You're my people. And I love you from the basement of my heart to the attic of my mind. That's a whole lot of love. And I love you 24/7. That means I love you all the time. Shalom.